Hello, and welcome to the second broadcast of the Gray Area News on TV. The home of your favorite and free newspaper is still on TV. I'm your host, Suja Salters. I'm going to go dive right into it today. This is a special edition. We have Halloween coming up in about a week. We're going to go right into some of the events that you guys want to go see. It's listed in the newest edition of the paper. And I'm going to go toss it to Frank right now.
How you doing? I'm Frank Watley. Let's get right into it. We got Kids Fall Festival, October 31st, from 4 to 5:30. Trick-or-treating, face painting, and activities. Children 11 years old or younger with a costume are allowed to participate at Harold D. Cooley Library in Nashville.
Okay. And I'm Kay Watley. Next one we want to talk about is on October 26th, the Monster Dash Fundraiser. It's for a fun way to help Nash County citizens. You are encouraged to wear a costume, and they're going to be sending the proceeds to the United Way Tar River region. There's a small fee, but you can join in the fun, and they're going to be going down Elm Street in Nashville.
Okay. They also have Dark Side Haunted Estates. It's a quarter mile of a forest. You walk through graveyard and ghouls, multiple haunted houses, and creepy structures. You pass through a Dark Side Mansion, an insane asylum, a chop house, and a chilling clown house. Wow.
Yeah.
It's located at 11875 North Carolina, Highway 222, West Middlesex.
Now let me say something about that. We walked through last year in the daytime, and it was scary in the daytime.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a special walkthrough, and he's got like an acre, doesn't he?
It's pretty crazy.
I mean, houses, and he's got some scary stuff. Okay, another one is a community outdoor concert, Prima Iglesia First Church event with fellowship, food, music, and fun for all. The event is happening in Town Square, Wendell. For more information, you can contact them at 919-365-0177.
And I want to talk about this. There's a nice opportunity this time of year for the outdoor movies. We still have the good weather and so forth. And you've got Paranorman showing in Nashville. Bring out your blankets or your chairs. Come on, sit on the bleachers, and they're going to have concessions and all of that. And that's at the J.W. Glover Memorial Park in Nashville.
And last up for me is the Hell House. That says it all. October 24th through the 26th. And November 1st and 2nd, parental discretion advised for children under 12 years old. I guess that says it all. A unique event held at Farmington Heights Church, 910 Raleigh Road Parkway, Wilson. Groups of 10 or more, please call for reservations, 252-291-0696, extension 10. Actually, it's in the newest edition. There's about 30 events here that you have all over of North Carolina, which is pretty nice. And was it hard for you to put all that together? Because it seems like you touched on everything from Raleigh to the coast.
Well, with our own kids, we look for a lot of different things to do. So we've got some things that are for grown-ups, things that are for kids, but there's so much going on. I'm sure even though this is a pretty long list that there's even more. But definitely this is the time of year when you've got lots of trick-or-treating going on in each of the towns, and the things like Dark Side Estates and some of the other folks open up these massive attractions. So it certainly took some digging, but I bet I didn't find half of what's out there. There's just so much going on this time of year.
And we have a new edition coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, so go pick it up now.
Pick it up tomorrow. Well, do you have events tomorrow?
We're going to be picking these up tomorrow. No, there's no, I don't.
Oh, okay. Okay, so get them while you can.
Now we're going to go talk about the Shades of Grey a little bit. I don't know if Frank or Kay wants to pick that one up, the newest edition, talking about the shades of gray, different
Yeah.
situations.
Before we get into the shades of gray, I'll let Kate talk about that, but
Okay.
we jumped into the show right away. We do have a guest, and that's Michael Lane, and he'll be talking with us a little later on in the show. I just wanted to let
Okay.
people know that.
Okay.
Okay, shades of gray.
Shades of Gray. All right, so each issue we have this Shades of Gray feature that poses a situation that could be related to kids or work or, some situation we face in life, and opens this idea up for discussion. So if you're out having lunch with friends or you're sitting at home reading the paper, you can kind of discuss the situation and see how you think it through and how other people around you think it through. The one that's in this edition that's out now has to do with working with rivals. Having a business rival, and you go out to a luncheon, and it turns out that your business rival is the one holding the luncheon. So you're there to experience it and to enjoy it as a networking event, but you have this kind of emotional interruption, with it could due to this rivalry that's going on. So you have, we pose this question as, what do you do? Do you stay for the business function and do your networking and just ignore it, or does it affect you so heavily that you feel you have to walk out? I think everybody deals with situations differently, and so that was what we posed in the issues. What do you do when you arrive and you see this as your problem? How do you deal with it?
Your competitor.
Yeah.
And keep looking. Shades of Gray changes every couple of weeks, and there's more, and we'll be bringing you more on the Shades of Gray too.
Okay. It's just food for thought. There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong answer.
Absolutely. And of course, if you have something that you feel really that you want to give us as feedback, you can always post what your response would be to the situation right on the Facebook page, and give other people a chance to join your discussion.
Sure. And you can always read back issues of the Shades of Gray on the website www.grayareanews.com, so you can check them out.
Okay. We're going to tackle the strangeness next.
Oh, the strangeness.
I'm seeing like a boomerang shaped
Oh.
UFO
Oh my gosh.
in Henderson. What is going on with that?
Kay does them, so I hate to do this, but she's going to have to handle that one.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. So the strangeness was about a boomerang-shaped UFO, and it was sighted over Henderson by actually multiple witnesses. So that was kind of an interesting thing. And the great thing about thank you.
Just to refresh your memory a little bit.
Thank you very much. Yeah. But it was the witnesses said it was pretty big, and they could see it clearly enough that they knew that it was some unidentified flying object. One of the witnesses actually has some piloting experience and still didn't recognize what it was that was flying slowly over the house. So, and that's even since then there have been other UFOs sighted. There's a great group around the area that's MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network in North Carolina, has its own chapter. And so they help to get the word out about this type of thing, and try to find additional witnesses to the same event.
Now, you were checking, what was it, a couple of months ago in MUFON. There had really been a lot of sightings over the last 6 months. And I want to say about 4 months ago, it like tripled.
Yeah.
The sightings. So,
Wow.
I mean, keep your eyes to the skies, because there's there's always something out there.
That is
Absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah, it is. But that website is pretty. It's a national website, isn't it?
It is, and then they
Worldwide, actually.
in North Carolina here they have sky watches a couple of times a year. So if you want to go out with a whole group,
Wow.
maybe you've seen something and you're not quite sure what you've seen. Maybe you don't want to say UFO out loud, although it is just unidentified and flying object. So they have groups where you can get together on a sky watch and see what's up there and talk about what thing this looks like
Wow.
a UFO. What is it really? Okay, well that's Saturn, you know,
Yeah.
or that is a UFO, and so it's kind of neat that they get together and like-minded people can kind of
Sure.
check out the sky.
And we also, without the UFOs, we love looking at the skies. We've got a telescope, and we haven't broken out in a while, but there's a big event coming. Comet Ison's coming in November and December, so keep your eyes to the skies. You might be able to see something that you haven't seen ever. Comets don't come around very often. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And
that's
this-
also on the website too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one we're going to be able to see the tail. Even if you don't have the telescope, you'll be able to see the tail over the next couple of weeks. So that's
Wow.
pretty
And
exciting.
some of the scientists, they're anticipating that it's going to be a big event, but some of them are even saying that you might be able to see the comet in the daytime, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I just had to throw that in.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking
It's
about
good for the kids. It's educational. Right?
yes, we're talking
Yeah.
about sky events. That's pretty cool. So keep your eyes open, people.
Okay. We're going to transition right into it. We're going to talk about what your favorite Halloween movie is.
Back to Halloween.
Back to Halloween. I think it's all in there with the UFO.
Why don't you start off with your favorite?
My favorite was sort of was the Saw series. It was sort of like a cheap Hannibal, I guess, where you understood why the guy was doing what he was doing,
Sure.
but they maybe did it for maybe about three or four sequels that didn't need to be done.
What I liked about the Saw movies, and I haven't seen the whole series. I think maybe
You
I've
can see
seen
maybe
the
the first four.
first two or three.
You'll be good with that.
And I mean, they're gruesome movies, and there's a lot of blood, a lot of
Yeah.
special effects. But there's an element to that movie that's calculating, and the guy has a method to his madness.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about that movie.
Yeah.
But yes, they're gruesome movies. And don't watch them with kids because there's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
And what about you,
That
Kay? What do
was
you
my
like?
favorite.
I haven't seen those. Now, are they scary in the dark? Are they that kind of movie, or Saw is just scary at any time? I've not seen any of them.
Yeah, she doesn't like the gruesome.
It's more blood than actually being scary.
Okay.
It's like, oh man, how are you going to get out of a situation in 90 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what he does. He presents a situation, and they have 90 seconds or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, or they lose a limb. But it's a great movie for Halloween, yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Kay? What do you like?
Well, the one that I like a lot of scary movies. I watch a lot of Stephen King, obviously, but the one that I think is, Halloween night, sitting in the dark with the popcorn is probably The Right. And I can't remember his name, the guy who was Hannibal Lecter.
Oh,
Anyway,
Anthony Hopkins?
Anthony
but
Hopkins. yes.
the Right, that's one where if it's dark, it's terrifying.
Is that the one where he plays the priest?
Yes.
The demonic possession?
Yes.
Yeah. Exorcisms and all
Oh,
kinds
yeah.
of. That was a good movie.
I can't watch that in the day. Let alone.
The one, probably one of
good
my
one.
favorite
That's a
movies
good one.
also is The Exorcist. That is one
Oh, the original?
the
Original
original
one?
Yeah, that is
Okay.
just so freaky that it'll scare you anytime, day or night. You don't need Halloween for that one. Now, on that note, we and I don't think we had it in our agenda, but
Okay, go ahead.
we went in the new issue. We're going to preview one of the movies that we review is Carrie. And I went out and watched Carrie this weekend. Kay was busy with family stuff and work stuff, so I went out and saw Carrie. It's along the same lines as the original Carrie, with how the new movies. This is done in today's times, so
Okay.
the scene where she gets harassed, they put in social media. So they put it on Facebook.
Okay.
And that's kind of cool, instead of the guy walking in with a 78 Camaro and picking up Carrie to go to the prom, there's a big white limousine out there. And so they use a lot of today's, and with the special effects, it's awesome. Because, there's a lot of killing going on in there. And there's a few different twists, but they've stayed along with the same scene. And It's a pretty good movie. So if you want to go see Carrie or read a little bit more about it, pick up the new issue, and you can pick it up tomorrow.
Okay, we'll be back more with our guest, Michael Lane, after these messages.
Here, my name is Doris Howington, and I'm the Executive Director of the Wright Center here in Rocky Mount. We're located at 501 Raleigh Road, and we offer services to elders and disabled adults of Rocky Mount and surrounding areas. To find out more about the Wright Center, you can give us a call here at 252-442-8363.
Are you just starting out on your own and want to be independent? Do you have a family and need a bigger home? Are the kids moving out? And are you downsizing? First Carolina Realty can help. A 1 or 2 bedroom apartment or house for those starting out. A 3 or 4 bedroom home for a growing family. Rentals, sales, new homes, pre-owned homes, investment property in the city or in the country. Call First Carolina Realty. Now is a good time to make that move. Real estate prices are right, interest rates are low, and there is a fantastic selection of homes available. First Carolina Realty is a full-service licensed real estate firm with offices located at 1100 West Thomas Street, open 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. If you have rental properties and are tired of the headaches associated with managing them yourself, or if you're looking for a new management team to manage your rental properties, call First Carolina Realty at 252-985-2321. Visit our webpage at firstcarolinarealty.com. We will gladly help you with all your real estate needs.
Hello, we're back now with our special guest, Michael Lane. He's an essential part to the paper. I believe one of the first advertisers. He's from Eastern North Carolina Polygraph Services. He's the owner, manager, and I think everything in between.
On the bill player.
And that's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
We're going to jump right into it. When did you actually get started with it? What made you want to be in polygraph
I got
services?
started in polygraphs in 1995 when I was a state trooper. The Highway Patrol started up a polygraph program to do pre-employments. And I went to the Virginia School of Polygraph under Billy Franklin and came back and did the polygraph program for crime control public safety. And I trained the ALE polygraph, and they started third unit. And we also did polygraphs for Butler PD. I did that to about 2003 and retired. And then I went to the Wilson County Sheriff's Department. I became their lead polygraphist and did interviews and recruiting. And after that, I started my own business and wrote a book with John Bowden out of Duncan, Oklahoma about interview interrogation. And now I'm the assistant director of the Virginia School of Polygraph and still going strong.
That's good. To rise from a student to be an assistant director.
Yeah, very fortunate.
Yeah, such a short amount of time. That's good, that's good. Let me ask you this. Can you alter or cheat a polygraph?
No, there's a lot of people that think they can. A lot of people nowadays with the internet, they go there and they type in polygraph, and the first thing that comes up is antipolygraph.org with George Maskey. And George is a nice man. He was a major in the Army. and he had to take a polygraph to get promoted because he did terrorism. He was an expert terrorism, and he failed. So he left the Army and he went to the LAPD, and he had to join. He wanted to join them because they have an anti-terrorist group too, which is great. And here again, George Maskey is an expert in terrorism.
Okay.
And he had to take a pre-employment polygraph, and he failed. So he didn't get the job. So he became very anti-polygraph. And he tries to tell you all these things you can do. The only thing that can affect a polygraph, of course, is number one, drugs. And of course, we'll see that with the readings that we get. Some people try to put a tack in their shoe. Well, that's obvious because every time they press down on it, you can see them squint. And other people think that, well, if I think about something else, if they ask me, did I do the crime, and I start thinking about bananas or apples, I won't think about, well, that doesn't work either. The only thing that can affect the polygraph is somebody has a mental condition who truly doesn't understand the difference between right and wrong. And then there's no fear. It's like if I would ask you, are you a liar? And if you said no, I'd ask you how many banks you have to rob to be a bank robber. The answer is one. Or how many lies you have to tell to be a liar. Just one. So see, by then, what you just did then, your voice went down. So I start reading kinesthetics and meaningful behavior. And that's another thing examiners are trained to do that we train. We read your body language. And the thing about it is the polygraph is a great tool. And people react because we have moral values. We're taught by our mothers and our parents, to what values are. And that's what we try to do. And Frank and I have talked about this. And I can tell you that one of the smartest things I ever did was go to the gray area because it purely has helped my business. But nowadays, with our society, lying is so easy, and we all do it.
Yeah.
And people nowadays, we don't look at lying as being serious anymore because look what's going on in our governments, in our schools, and everything else. And lying's become second nature for us until you're faced with it, and nobody likes to be called a liar.
So the polygraph exactly tests your fear factor, I guess.
Yeah, your fear of being caught. If you know, if you're waiting for that one question, did you do it? And what happens is you have tubes on your chest and on your stomach, and you have a blood pressure cuff, and you have plates on your fingers.
Wow, okay.
And what happens is your autonomic nervous system, you can't control it. If I tell you don't breathe, you got to breathe because your autonomic nervous system. Well, what happens is when you tell a lie, you have that fear of being caught. Chemicals are released by the brain, the liver, and other things, and there's certain things that's going to react inside you that you can't control. You can look calm on the outside, but not on the inside. It's just like when we were kids and we got called in by our parents, and they go, "You're waiting for that question. Did you eat the cookies? Did you eat the cookies?" And you know you're going to have to make your mind up. Am I going to tell the truth or not?
Yeah.
Well, you're waiting there, and I since you asked the question, did you eat the cookies? And you go, no. Well, you know you just lied, but you always got caught.
Yeah.
Well, how did our parents know? Because we came out of our norm, and they know us. And they go, you're lying. You know.
We're running out of time. I'm going to ask you another quick question. When did you meet Frank? Give me a unique Frank story.
I met Frank. Frank called me up on the telephone and said, I'm starting a gray area. I'm starting a newspaper. And he talks a mile a minute. And Frank said, I'll meet you and buy you lunch. And that's the only reason I went to see him, to get a free lunch. And he sat down with this idea about the gray area. And between the internet and the gray area, that's how Frank and I met. And then I gave him my stories about people on polygraph that have committed murders and thieves and all that stuff.
He scares the heck out of me. He really does.
But Frank and I became not only working
friends,
but we're truly friends, and we're very blunt with each other.
Oh yeah.
But he's a great person, and you saw his daughter earlier. That was his daughter. But he's a good person.
I tell you, the guy is something else.
And the thing about it is, he wants me to polygraph him, and I told him I didn't have enough fuses.
Mr. Lane, you can pick up a copy of the gray area and look up Mr. Lane if you need polygraph services for employment or to find out if mama or daddy's cheating. You can go to Mr. Lane and find out. But I think we need to wrap up the show.
Well, thank you for watching. Tune in for us next month and enjoy.